Howdy folks, Nathan Adlin here with the Fast Lane Car, the Fast Lane Truck, and TFL Now. Today we have something special for you. Not only am I wearing a lab coat, but I have a little demonstration that I'd like to do for you guys based on what you guys were requesting. A while ago, we started getting emails, texts, and a few other things saying, hey, what would you guys put together for a good survival kit? What would you guys do? Well, that's a really good question. And to add to that, we live in snow country, so we have some additional suggestions to go with a standard roadside kit. So without any further delay, let's get started. Now this one is a AAA kit that I bought for my spouse at Costco a few years back. And right off the bat, you can see it comes with jumper cables, duct tape, really good rope. And this one has, if you look carefully, you can see right here, hooks, which are strong enough to get, I would imagine, most vehicles out of difficult, sticky situations. First aid guide, a first aid kit. This is kind of small for a first aid kit. I wouldn't imagine this would do much for heavy wounds, so perhaps you'd consider having or procuring a larger one. Poncho, very good to have. And really, take note of this. Notice how it's orange? These are really good to have when you have orange or red or even yellow. Bright colors that people can see in case you're stranded. A terry cloth chamois. I happen to like this a lot. This is a flashlight. Isn't that great? Now they even have radios that you can crank so you don't have to have fresh batteries on you all the time. And it works. It takes a while to charge this one up in particular, but even if you're just cranking along, you can kind of keep it going. Bungee cord, always good to have. Now this comes with a Phillips screwdriver, which is also a flathead. Nice to have, great idea. I recommend adding to that a multi-tool like a Leatherman. Having a multi-tool in an emergency kit, great idea. They now make really cheap ones which are half decent, and just put one in here, something to worry about later on when you need it. And it'd be really nice to have in certain situations. Gloves. Now, if you live in snow country, we'll go over gloves in just a moment with this list. And I've added to it a couple things. This is sunblock and lip balm donated from Mazda. And the cool thing about stuff like this is that it's sort of a comfort thing to have, but also you'd be surprised how many people get severely sunburned when they're waiting on the side of the road for somebody to come along and help them. So, not a bad idea to have. And also a few of these. Non-perishable goods, bars, peanuts, peanut butter. If you're allergic to that, then you can get different types of bars that don't have peanuts in them, but non-perishables that you can keep in the kit for a couple years and swap them out progressively. Really good thing to have. So that's your basic kit, right? Okay, so now let's move that aside and let's add to that. Winter driving conditions. We live in Colorado. And in this area, there are several stories you hear annually of people who have been stranded on the side of the road who do not have proper provisions for even staying overnight, much less 2 or 3 days, which, believe me, that type of stuff has happened before. One guy I remember hearing about, he had Tootsie Rolls, and he actually survived on those for like 3 days or whatever. So rather than do that, having a few of these around can really, really help. But there's more to it than that. So let's go over this little winter kit list. This is in addition to what we have here. Blankets and jackets. Now, I don't know if you can see my little notation up there, but if you can make sure that they are a bright color, orange, red, yellow, really good idea. Having at least one extra blanket in your car is huge. It can really save you overnight. Having an extra jacket in the car, a large one that somebody else can wear or use as a blanket or even a pillow, really good idea to have. Chains. I know that seems really obvious, but there's an awful lot of people out there who have really crappy tires who just drive through winter conditions, and because they're used to it, it's not a big deal to them. If you keep a set of chains in your vehicle, you can get out of a lot of horrible situations. If you have snow tires, obviously it's not a big deal, but consider it for those of you who just don't have snow tires. It's a really good idea. Shovel. There are small shovels that you can get, little military ones that are relatively cheap, 20 bucks, 30 bucks, and they collapse, and they basically are probably about, as long as this kit is once they're collapsed, and you can keep them in the trunk of your car or on the back of your vehicle or even under a seat, and they are a big lifesaver. Highly recommend those. Brush with scraper. I know that seems obvious for you guys who live out here, but for those of you who have not been in snow country, it's so important to have a scraper and a brush. It's so hard to get snow off your car if you don't have it, especially if it's melted a little bit and it's icy and ice, snow. You try to clear that off with your hands. Yeah, you can do quite a bit, but then your hands freeze, and trust me, that's something that you don't want. Sand. Yes, sand or kitty litter. Really good way to get traction when you are stuck in the snow, especially if your tires are, well, let's say not up to the task of moving you. Having some sand in the right places can really help you get traction to get out of a horrible situation. Also, for some people, if they have a very light vehicle or whatever and they need to have extra weight in the back of the vehicle to add ballast or to simply move around to help you get traction, and believe me, sometimes you need to do that, a bag of sand isn't such a bad idea. Boots. Well, that goes with the gloves as well. An old pair of boots that maybe you don't like wearing anymore, but you know they keep your feet warm. Trust me, a lot of people drive around in winter conditions wearing, well, I hate to yell at you, Andre, but Andre occasionally wears Crocs in winter driving conditions, and I could kill him for it. Fortunately, he does have boots in his car. Old boots, they're probably from Mother Russia. Hey, look, a little pocket knife can save you so much time and trouble. If you're in a horrible situation, you can rip out a car's interior with a small pocket knife and use that to cover you. I mean, there's so many things you can do, so keep that in mind. Okay, a lighter and or waterproof matches. Surprisingly, candles, a couple of them can actually warm you up inside of a tight area like a car. And also it helps get that chill off your body. It also obviously provides you with light. And for some of you people, if you need to, you can boil on a small tin some snow using a candle and, well, make drinkable water. So something else to think about. Hey, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this. Please, no matter who you are, at the very least, put a survival kit in your car. For the Fastlane Car, for the Fastlane Truck, and TFL Now, this is Nathan Adlin. Don't forget to go to all of our websites for new car reviews and, of course, little tech-assisted little fun things that we do like this, which, frankly speaking, I think we'll do more of. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.